AARP has said that.
What are you doing? Are you pretending to sleep?
Medicare substantially.
Shh.
And that's why they were supportive of the approach that we took. One last point I want to make. We do have to lower the cost of health care. Not just in Medicare, nothing like that. But
No.
and so.
Oh, are you mad now?
Let's get back to Medicare.
You're so silly.
The president said that the government can provide the service at lower cost and without a profit.
Are those all of your toys?
Then it will always be the best product.
Well, I should say, are those all the toys that I have out for you to play with right now?
My experience is the private sector typically is able to provide a better product at a lower cost.
Can the two of you agree that the voters have a choice, a clear choice between the two of you on Medicare? All right. So, to finish quickly, briefly, on the economy, what is your view about the level of...
What'd you find? Uh-oh.
And in your case, Mr. President, should there be more? This is not a new 2-minute segment. Just start, and we'll go for a few minutes, and then we're going to go to healthcare. Okay?
Regulation is essential. You can't have a free market work if you don't have regulation. As a business person, I had
How come you're so silly?
regulations. I needed them there. You couldn't have people opening up banks in their garage and making loans. I mean, you have to have regulations so that you can have an economy work. Every free economy has a good regulation. At the same time, regulation can become excessive.
Is it excessive now?
In some places, yes. In other places, no.
Baby.
And what's happened with some of the legislation that's been passed...
There's your monkey.
You've seen regulation become excessive, and it's hurt the economy. Let me give you an example. Dodd-Frank was passed, and it includes within it a number of provisions that I think have some unintended consequences for the economy. One is it designates a number of banks as too big to fail.
Should we open them?
And they're effectively guaranteed by the federal government. This is the biggest kiss that's been given to New York banks I've ever seen. This is an enormous thing for them. There have been 142 community and small banks have closed since Dodd-Frank. So there's one example. Here's another. In Dodd-Frank,
Uh-oh.
well, replace it. We're not going to get rid of all regulation. You have to have regulation. And there's some parts of Dodd-Frank that make all the sense in the world. You need transparency. You need to have leverage limits for institutions.
Well, there's a specific.
But let's mention the other one. Let's talk the big one.
No, let's not.
Okay.
Let's let him respond. Let's let him respond to this specific on Dodd-Frank and what the governor just said.
Well, I think this is a great example.
Do you make the puppy bark?
Have been through a enormous economic crisis. It was prompted by reckless behavior across the board. Now, it wasn't just on Wall Street. You had loan officers that were given loans and mortgages that
What are you doing to that poor puppy?
really shouldn't have been given because the folks didn't qualify. You had people who were borrowing money to buy things that they couldn't afford. You had credit agencies that were stamping these as A1 great investments when they weren't. But you also had banks making money hand over fist, churning out products that the bankers themselves
Yeah, you gotta
didn't
pick, eat or play.
in order to make big
Are you
profits,
feeding the puppy?
knowing that it made
Is
the
puppy
entire
hungry?
system vulnerable. So what did we do? We stepped in and had the toughest
Aw, you're so sweet.
on Wall Street since the 1930s. We said you've got banks.
Aww.
You can't engage in some of this
Baby.
risky behavior that's putting Main Street at risk. We're going to make sure that you've got to have a living will, so we can know how you're going to wind things down if you make a bad bet, so we don't have other taxpayer bailouts. In the meantime, by the way, we also made sure that all the help that we provided those banks was paid back every single dime with interest. Now, Governor Romney has said he wants to repeal Dodd-Frank, and I appreciate. And it appears we've got some agreement that a marketplace to work has to have some regulation.
Hey,
In
Charlotte.
the past, Governor Romney said he just wants to repeal Dodd-Frank, roll it back. And so the question is, does anybody out there think that the big problem we had is that there was too much oversight and regulation of Wall Street? Because if you do,
What are you doing, Goomba?
Governor Romney
Are you that tired?
is your candidate. But that's not what I believe.
That's just not the facts. Look, we have to have regulation on Wall Street. That's why I'd have regulation.
Can you
But I
sleep?
wouldn't
Are you
designate
tired?
5 banks as too big to fail and give them a blank check. that's one of the unintended consequences of Dodd-Frank. It wasn't thought through properly. We need to get rid of that provision because it's killing regional and small banks. They're getting hurt. Let me mention another regulation of Dodd-Frank.
Yay! Charlotte cleans up her toys.
It's one of the reasons for the great financial
You gonna go put that one away?
And so Dodd-Frank correctly says we need to have qualified mortgages, and if you give a mortgage that's not qualified, there are big penalties.
Good
I
job.
don't want to define what a qualified mortgage was. It's been 2 years. We don't know what a qualified mortgage is yet. So banks are reluctant to make loans, mortgages.
Good job.
Trying to get a
Yep,
mortgage these
there you go.
days. It's hurt the housing market because Dodd-Frank didn't anticipate putting in place the kinds of regulations you have to have.
Charlotte, just let it go.
Frank always was wrong with
It'll
too
go
much
in.
regulation. Sometimes it didn't
Good
come
job,
with
see?
regulation.
Yay! Do you want to say night-night?
Of our marketplace and our business.
Say night-night.
I want to bring back housing.
Is that your
and get
kitty?
good jobs.
Is that Rara?
I have another clear difference between the two of you.
Raja,
Move
she just wants
to
a kiss.
healthcare, where I know there is a clear difference, and that has to do with the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, and it's a 2-minute new segment.
Whoopsies.
And it's, that means 2 minutes each,
Uh-oh.
and you go first.
Charlotte, can you say bye?
Ronnie, you wanted repeal.
Say bye.
The Affordable Care Act.
Can you blow me a kiss?
I sure do.
Charlotte, mwah.
Well, in part,
Blow me a kiss.
again, from my experience.
Mwah.
I was in New Hampshire.
Charlotte,
woman
look at Mama.
And she said, "Look, I
Mwah.
can't afford insurance for myself or my son."
Mwah.
And I met a couple of
Thank you.
couples,
Bye.
and they said,